This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. A weekly recap of your Philadelphia Flyers from blue line to blue line. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Han & Stone Spa, Pat Dion Beverages, The Capitol Grill, Chickies and Pete's, Payroll Service Solutions, and Independence Blue Cross. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Now, here are your hosts, former Flyers goaltending great Bernie Parent and Paul Jolovitz.
And welcome everybody to the beautiful Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. Our second On the Ice of the season. The Flyers 2-1 after a 2-0 shutout of Rick Tocchet's Vancouver Canucks last night. We are very pleased to be joined for his premiere voyage of the year by our co-host. You may know him. He played goalie with his team for the Broad Street Bullies, Mr. Bernard Marcel Perron. How are you, buddy?
Oh, life is great, man. Every time I sit next to you, life is great.
That life is great. Yeah. It's better when you sit next to your beautiful wife, Jeannie, who's also here.
Hold on a second. My nose is growing. Let me push it back a little bit.
All right, Pinocchio. And we have maybe my favorite guest on this show. I've loved him for years. Yeah. He is honest. He is forthright. He was a terrific defenseman with his team, as was his brother. He runs Iceworks now in Aston. We bring on Mr. Jim Watson from the Broad Street Bullies. Flyer Hall of Famer.
Yes. Wow. Yes. Look, thank you all the fans out there. It's always a pleasure to come to Chickie and Pete's. Yep. Particularly when you're in Delaware County, where I reside.
Yep.
And sit next to you, Big Paul, and the great Bernie Parent. I mean,
great sitting next to you.
You know what? Life doesn't get much better.
It doesn't get much better. It doesn't get much better for the Flyers under John Tortorella, who are rebuilding, have stated they're rebuilding. We'll talk about the hierarchy in just a minute. But last night, a terrific effort. This team's not tanking. They're playing hard. They're probably not going to achieve a lot this year, but They would never believe that, but Watson.
I don't agree with that, Paul.
Well, that's what we're here for, Jim.
Why would you say that? I mean,
I don't agree either.
Yeah, all right, that's great. I mean, either one of you guys, obviously.
They're going to be. They've got a great shot for the playoffs. Just flat out.
Well, that's tremendous. Last night, Demko, the Vancouver goalies we were talking about before the show, played well in the first period. Flyers still had a 2-0 lead. Zamula, his first goal. Sean Couturier, who's back along with Cam Atkinson, scored on a penalty shot, shut him out the rest of the way. Carter Hart was very good.
Hart played good, yeah. You know why I'm saying this? He played well? Because I watched him last night. I watched him, and his anticipation, he was studying the plays, the players, left-hand shot, right-hand shot, and would put him at the right place at the right time.
Well, he was at the right place at the right time all the time, Jim, huh?
Yeah, he really was. He was outstanding, Demko. But I want to talk about him first because he made the game close. Otherwise, the Flyers would have won that game 5-6-0.
Yep.
Okay, but Carter Hart was very good, particularly in the first period. When Vancouver came a little bit, they had some good opportunities, and he was there for the boys. And then, of course, the Flyers grabbed a 2-0 lead. He didn't have much work in the second period. And then the third, they were down 2-0 Vancouver. They came hard on him for a while, but he was there when he needed to be. So he looks good. He looks strong. He looks revitalized. Looks like he's maturing and growing up a little bit more, Carter Hart. And I thought the defense played well in front of him. This kid Zamula played well. Not only did he score a goal, but I thought big rangy guy, he moves well.
Big guy.
And he's learning. Looks like he's learning the game. He plays strong in front of his own net in his own zone.
All right, we're going to talk about colors tonight and a lot of things here on the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. You can also catch us here on 1490 WBCB and on YouTube. We're streaming as we always do. And guys, this Sunday the Eagles were at Kelly Green. It's Red October. We'll talk about the Phillies a little bit later. But we're here for the Flyers. It's a new era of orange.
Yeah.
What do you expect this year, guys? Whoever wants to go first. You both were mentioning playoffs, a word that I haven't heard too much out of the mouths of many Flyer fans. Bernie, what do you think?
Well, the way, first of all, look, they have a great coach.
Yep.
I saw it last night. They have a great team. And what I saw last night and said they have a great team is because you learn when you start in sports, Jimmy, you learn that the only way you win The only way you win is you got to win as a team.
You got to outscore the opposition.
You
too.
can't. Well, you got to. You got to win as a team. You know, the whole team. And you could see somebody would do a good play or whatever, score a goal, and everybody was pumped, and it really makes a big difference. And the goalie played. Hart really played well. I really like the way he played.
Jim, last night, 3 defense pairings, 4 lines. The goaltender was kind of all in sync, especially the final 2 periods. Flyers outshot the Canucks and came up with a shutout. If you had said to somebody, will they shut anybody out this year, much less the first 3 games, I'm not sure what somebody would have said. How far can this team go?
Well, I think they certainly can vie for a playoff spot, and then from there you never know what'll happen, right? Because you look at a guy like Chris Atkinson and Sean Couturier, right? Those 2 guys add major depth up front for them. Okay, and Couturier is like a number 1 centerman, and that's what they were lacking last year. Plus his leadership. So watching him play last night, he looks good, and he made the comment today. Look, I'm feeling better every day, and every game I feel more engaged and more adept to the game. So I mean, it's really encouraging to see. But Cam Atkinson, to me, really gives him a lot of life. But I also saw some really good things. Bobby Brink, the young rookie right winger from Denver. I think he won the Hobie Baker Award, didn't he?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. But the kid's not a big kid, Bernie, but he can really skate, and he's really a smart player, and he looked good. In fact, he gave them a lift a couple times when he took off with the puck and exploded with the puck in tough areas and really attacked. So he's a good addition to the team. But they've added some good pieces. So you asked me the question about the team, Paul. They've got a good blend of veterans and some really good young players.
Well, you guys are both with the Broad Street Bullies. And the Broad Street Bullies, if nothing else, and there was plenty else, you won the 2 cups, stood up for each other. Last night there was a moment in the 3rd period where I can't remember what Flyer got run by a Canuck, but he shot the puck in the net, Bernie, after the whistle, which is a bozo no-no in the NHL. Didn't hurt anybody, but you shouldn't do it. And Travis Konechny, who's not exactly, a fighter or anything like that, went after the Canuck, took 2 minutes, took 10 in the box for misconduct. But they stand up for each other, guys, and that's a big key to winning hockey, isn't it?
If it would have happened to me when we played with Jimmy, it was on the ice, Jimmy would have told the guy, great shot.
Yeah, give him one for me also.
What did it say to you, though, Jimmy, when Konechny did that?
No, it was a good move, certainly. I actually was down for the game last night, Paul, and I really enjoyed watching the game. It was a good, fast-paced game, a lot of movement, a lot of plays, a lot of good passing, a lot of plays made, and a lot of intensity. And, the Flyers stood up for each other. And good to see, absolutely. But with John Tortorella, which you're very accountable to John, and if he doesn't like what you're doing, you're not going to play.
Morgan Frost didn't play last night.
Morgan Frost did not play last night. I saw that, and I presume he was maybe unhappy with him because I think they're counting on the kid to be a top 2 or 3 centerman for them.
Yep.
And but he didn't like what he saw, so he made a move, and that was it. He moved Lawton back into center ice and took Frost out of the lineup. So good for him. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. You got to be accountable. You got to be ready to play every night.
He says he only tells the truth, and that's what it appears.
Yep.
If you're in his doghouse, it's not really a doghouse. You're just not playing well in his mind.
Yep.
One thing, guys, we're going to weave between the front office and the team and the building, which is unusual unless you have a new building. We don't really have a new building, but we do. The Wells Fargo Center was redone completely the last couple of years, the upper levels. Over the summer, they did the locker rooms. I've heard nothing but great reviews. I'm going tomorrow night. Last night was a little trafficy, and I couldn't get down there last night. Did you see the locker room, Jimmy, Bernie? And if so, Mr. Snyder is very prominently displayed. What do you think about the whole redo, the refurbishing of the Wells Fargo Center?
Well, I did the promotion a couple of days before, at Wells Fargo, and I didn't recognize the place. It was incredible.
No, you can't. Yeah.
Just incredible. You said everything has changed. And I think they have Jim's picture on the wall in the dressing room. Things have changed.
My picture's on the wall.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, you know what? It looks spectacular, really. Well, they put a lot of money into the thing.
$500 million.
I mean, frankly, I didn't think it needed an overhaul, but they felt that way, and they went ahead and did it, and it looks really good. I mean, I liked what they did on the outside of the building. I think it's a really nice coordination of the different elements out there. And with the inside, Paul, Bernie, it looks like there's more freedom, more movement. You have more latitude to go around, move around the building and whatnot. So,
well, Jonesy, the president of the team last night, that's another story. Keith Jones, president of the Flyers. Still hard to say that, although I think it was a great hire.
Yeah.
Talked about we have a world-class locker room. This is a recruiting league now. You want to bring free agents here, impress guys by your facilities. He goes, we got a world-class facility here. The players love it. When you guys were playing, it didn't really matter if you dressed in a shoebox, did it? Times seemingly have changed in the NHL and sports in general.
Look at Jim now.
Absolutely.
Listen, but at the time, right, back in the we were in the 70s, right?
Yep.
So back then, when I came to Philadelphia, that locker that we walked into at the Spectrum was outstanding. It was the best locker I'd ever seen. It was state of the art in the 70s, but now we're at 2023. Things have changed tremendously, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're 50 years out. Okay, so it continues to grow and get better. But the hockey, I think, in the way the players move and the way they train and take care of themselves is off the charts. I mean, I wish we would have had all that when we were playing. But Bernie, we didn't have all that, but we had what was best at the time, right?
That's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah. We had a good goalie.
It was.
Who played for you? Jim, you had Bobby Taylor.
Wayne Stevenson.
Who was the backup?
Well, no, Wayne Stevenson, I think.
Wayne Stevenson, that's right. Bobby Taylor.
I was a backup.
Who are you?
I was George.
There we are.
But but when you look, you look at the game the way it was played and the way it's playing tonight, and I'll criticize the game a little bit. I have to because that's how I feel. Two things that I don't agree with, but it is what it is. Number one is in front of the net, you can't touch anybody.
Nope.
Okay, and you know what? I watch the game. I'm, assuming I'm the goalie. There's always screenshots. The goalies can't challenge anybody because there's always 2-3 guys in front of them. And to me, I just don't agree with this. I wish it would bring back, move the players, give the goalie a chance to see something.
Well, Bernie, you know what? We got to get offense. We got to keep offense in the game. We got to get shots to the net. You know what? That's part of the game.
Fans want to see goals.
Fans want to see shots on the net. Yep. Traffic in the front of the net, and they want to see goals. Bernie. You're a goalie. Of course, you're going to maybe fight that, but that's the exciting part of the whole game. There's nothing like in sports a goal scored in hockey. It's so exciting, and we need more of it.
But the one thing I'll criticize too a little bit is, I was a goalie, of course, but I look at the equipment they have now. Okay, think about this: the pads are so stiff. They're not this. They're only this thick, but they're so stiff they can't move their feet. So they have to drop to their knees.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. That's what that was your buddy Patrick Waugh who invented that whole damn thing.
So guess what?
They took away the kick save, Bernie.
Yeah, guess what? You drop to your knees, the puck changes direction. You can't challenge a shooter.
No,
you're on your knees.
Yeah, well, you're down your knees. But that's why the goalies have got to be big. But not always. Not always. Look at a guy like this Ronta down in Carolina, right? He's not a big goalie. Plays
Buffalo,
big.
The kid they drafted is not a big kid.
Levi, he's going to be their number one guy. He's 6 feet or 5'11". And God bless him. I'm glad to see the smaller goalies succeeding.
Speaking of smaller, Jim's smaller. Jim's lost some weight. You look terrific.
Yeah. I'm ready to make a comeback, Paul.
Yeah, I need to join you in doing the same thing. Yeah. There's a Flyer defenseman, though, guys, who went the other way from Mr. Watson, gained 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason, said he needed the weight, said he needed the strength. Kind of remodeled his house after the Flyer dressing room with the machines and the like. Travis Sanheim, Jim, and it looks like it's done its job at least.
Well,
he's bigger. It looks like he's as lean, as rangy as ever. What about Travis Sanheim?
I watched him last night. I thought he looked good last night. He looks very much. He looks very.
He got a haircut.
Well, he looks more confident. He looks bigger and stronger. He's moving well, Bernie.
Yeah,
he's moving well.
Agile.
And that's a big plus. Good for him for doing that. I mean, credit to him. But what an opportunity for these guys. I mean, they got a life of Riley. I mean, you look at you playing in the greatest league in the world. They're throwing all kinds of money at you. I mean, come on, go out there and get after it. But Travis Sanheim looked good last night, and good for him.
And you know what? They have I keep going back. They have a great coach. I love that coach. Good man.
All right, we'll talk about John Toronto when we come back. What makes him a great coach? We'll find out from two guys who know a little bit about hockey, Mr. Parent and Mr. Watson, who played for another guy who's a pretty good coach named Fred Sherrow. This is the Independence Blue Cross on the ice from Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. We'll come back right after this with Jimmy and Bernie. Stay with us, folks.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon is the true retreat from the everyday. With locations in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City, Joseph Anthony is a premier salon and spa destination that offers unique and luxurious services such as the soft pack float and hydrofacial. The Center City location, located on the 5th floor of the beautiful Lowe's Hotel, is now open and features an exclusive summer menu where you can indulge in the Joseph Anthony experience in the exquisite Turkish bath. Joseph Anthony's little black card is the perfect gift for all your loved ones' relaxation needs. Call or go online to josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com. A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
At Independence Blue Cross, we believe in giving you the tools you need to pursue your healthiest life. From premiums as low as $0 per month to health discounts and cash rewards, it pays to have coverage with Independence. With the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free 24/7 virtual doctor visits, you can feel confident that quality care is always within reach. Learn more about your coverage options at ibx.com.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one-stop shop for all your shopping needs at Fairless Hills.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer goaltending great Bernie Parent.
And welcome back, folks. You're listening to On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Dan Hilford, his former company. We're going to talk about him in a second, live from Chickies and Pete's, right here on 1490 WBCB, and here at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Fall features, all kinds of fall specials on Mondays. Buy an order of small single wings, get a snack order for free. Tuesday and Wednesday at Snow Crabs. Buy any number of snow crab orders, get the same amount for free. Saturday, all kinds of stuff, $5 crab fries, Krabby Sweets, boneless wings, fried mozzarella. It's all here at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill, and it is delicious. And it is now time also for the Independence Blue Cross Live Fearless Player of the Week. Each week we reward a Flyer with this honor. This week it's Sean Couturier, who in his home return from a couple years off due to back surgery netted a penalty shot on a nice move to foster a 2-0 Flyers win. Remember to choose Independence Blue Cross today and begin to live fearless. Yeah. And Jimmy Watson's with us, Bernie Parent, our co-host. Guys, when you were signing autographs during the break, the first guy and a couple other guys wearing all kinds of Phillies gear. We'll talk about the fans in a second. When you played, I mean, Flyers were at a game the other night. In fact, Scott Lawton and I think Konechny, the Flyers were at a Phillies game watching A.J. Puck pitch for the Marlins. So the Flyers were at a Phillies game watching a Puck. That was unique. In your day, did the athletes of this city, all get together? You go to Eagle games, Phillies games, they come to your games. Obviously, the city's in Red October. It's an amazing thing. But the athletes, Jim, what was that like?
Yeah, we always went over to watch the Phillies. I remember always going to the Phillies. And I went to all the sports pretty much. The odd Eagles game, not as many with the Eagles because they played on Sundays and we were playing on Sundays, so couldn't get down there for those games. And basketball a little bit, not as much, maybe more college basketball. I used to love to go to the Palestra.
I know you're a big James Harden fan, though, aren't you?
You know his favorite game he used to go to?
What?
Wrestling.
Wrestling?
Yeah.
WWE guy? Why not?
No, my kids love to watch wrestling.
The boys and wrestling goes together,
I would
right?
watch it with them, but I had nothing to do with that. No, we always went down to the games, and it was always a pleasure.
One thing that I think surprised a lot of people, guys, with the Flyers, and the fans have obviously been incredibly supportive throughout the entire 50 years after Mr. Snyder founded this team in the late 60s, is you guys are clearly rebuilding. You guys, the Flyers are clearly rebuilding, and they've admitted so much with Danny Briere and Keith Jones and Dan Hilferty and John Tortorella. Yet the fans were all over the place in training camp. They're back on the wheels of this team who admit a rebuild. Tortorella said we're going to play hard, but it may not be tomorrow. I think as long as you don't try to snow the fans under, they're going to support you, Bernie, and the Flyer fans have certainly done that.
Well, you know what? I feel we were fortunate, and the players are fortunate today too, right, Jim? When we played, you had what did we have, like 17,000 people at the game, and you know what? To win a championship, make no mistake about it, you need the support of the people, of the crowd. It's very, very important. Gets you going, and to get on the ice, knowing that you have that crowd, that 17,500, whatever it was, cheering for you, as you get on the ice before the game got started, was incredible. Yeah, it really gets you pumped, It was awesome.
I totally agree.
Jim, how much did you feed off the noise of the crowd? I mean, Bernie, when he makes a big save, obviously a breakaway, but a defense pairing. I mean, just the energy of the Philadelphia crowd, which we're obviously seeing here with the Phillies, but we see with all teams. What's that like?
Well, you know what? For a young kid coming out of a small town up in northern British Columbia, Canada, coming down to a big city like Philly, and all of a sudden you step on the ice when there's 17,000 people in the stands, right? I come from a small town at the time, about 3,000 people. Okay, so I come out here, I start playing hockey. But
you had an older brother that could have told you what to prepare for.
Joe forewarned me about the whole thing and whatnot, but we built a rabid fan base just by the nature of our team, the way we played. It was almost like a groundswell of just playing. I never forget, I got called up my first year of pro hockey. I played in the American League in Richmond, Virginia. Got called up at the end of the season, and then I ended up playing 2 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Montreal Canadiens in the semifinals, and that was in '73, spring of '73, a long ways back, right? We're talking 51 years ago. And
50. Don't make it worse.
Well, no, 51 because it was in the spring.
Well, this is the 24th season. Yeah,
it was the spring of '73. Don't forget when we won. It was in the spring of '74.
True.
So I'm right, Paul. It was 51 years ago.
Well, this is 2023.
Okay. Yeah, but figure it out. Do your math. And anyways, so you know what? When the fans just being in that environment, so when we lost to Montreal in the semifinals. Bobby Clark, our great captain, called the meeting after the final game in Montreal. We got knocked out of the playoffs, and I was a rookie playing in that game, and I was fortunate enough to be in the locker. And Bobby said, "Look, guys, we got a hell of a team here. We got the chance to do some real special things. Go home and have a great year of training. Take good care of yourself. Come back next year. We're going to have a great year." And I was in the locker room and I heard this, I don't know whether Bernie remembers this or not. And man, oh man, when I heard that, I was coming out of my skin. I was so excited. And I went home and trained real hard, came back and made the Flyers. And lo and behold, we went on to win the Stanley Cup the next year. And then I go home at the end of the season, and the fans say, well, Jim, you're a rookie and win the Stanley Cup as a rookie. Well, what are you going to do for an encore?
Win it again.
We're going to win it again.
Did you take the cup home in those days? Did you get a day with the cup?
No, we couldn't do it at the time.
No.
So we really missed out on that. But no, we said we're going to win it again. Lo and behold, we win it again, and we almost did it a third time, right? With when Montreal beat us with Ken Dryden being outstanding. Bernie was injured at the time for that one. But anyways, look at. You know what? You get what you put into it. That's the way it is. The fans are always going to be there to support you. With the Philly fans, the big thing they look for is effort. Okay, give them a good effort. Work real hard, and show you're committed to winning and doing the best you can, and they'll always support you.
And the thing with me was every time Jim stepped on the ice, I'd take my glove off and go like this. Yeah.
There we are. Bernie, if I told you, though, in 1974, 2024, you guys are going to be in some big celebrations.
50 years.
50th anniversary of Bernie's Stanley Cup ring. Jim's got a couple. I have a wedding ring. But could you believe, first of all, that the Flyers would not have won again after your second cup in 75? We're still searching. But does it seem like 50 years since you won Lord Stanley's Cup?
You know what? It's gone by so fast. But I guess that's because you're having fun, right? I mean, it's been good.
Yeah.
So we make our residence here in Philadelphia. Bernie goes to Florida now. He's gotten soft in his old age. Goes down to Florida in the cold weather. But he's hanging around. He hangs around here in the summer.
And during the summer, I do a lot of fishing from Avalon.
Okay, there you are.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're on all the Philly
I have
fans.
the boat behind the house.
And the Jersey Shore. I mean, holy Christ, what a place that is. I mean, it's just loaded with Flyer fans, right?
Yep.
So we built a rink. We built a rink in Aston. I got to tell you this story, Bernie. So when we built the rink in Aston, when I sat down with my partners and we decided we're going to build a rink, we started looking for a spot to build, right? And when I was coaching my sons in Little League baseball, I was living over in Newtown Edgemont in Delaware County, Newtown Square area, and we'd go over to play in Aston, Middletown, and they had a great little league complex there, and we'd go and play there, and all the fans would come up to me during the baseball season and want to talk about the Flyers and about hockey. So when we decided to build the rink, I said to the guys, well, it's got to be in Delaware County, and we're going to be in the tri-state area. I want it to be in Delaware County, and let's see if we can't get it in that Aston area. And lo and behold, shortly thereafter, we got 6 acres in Aston and built our rink.
It's 4 rinks, right?
4 rinks right there, but the fans, it's been incredible, the way they patronized our rink.
It is an amazing story, Bernie. Win today and walk together forever. Freddie Ciro said it, and you guys certainly embody it.
Well, like you said, it's been, it will be, next year, will be 50 years.
Well, yes.
Think about this. Since we won the first cup, you were just a baby, for God's sakes.
I was pretty much just a baby.
Yeah.
Does it seem like it just flew by, Bern?
Yeah, what? It's just you look back and you say, wow, what happened? But at the same time, you have to be grateful, and I'm grateful every day, Thank you, Lord, for putting the right players at the right place at the right time for us to win.
Yes, that's for certain.
Which
Absolutely.
Well, now, not just the right players in the right place. Obviously, Mitchkov's coming. We'll talk about him. Cutter Gauthier, the first-round draft choice last year. But the front office is the big story at the beginning of this year. Keith Jones hired as team president from the broadcast booth. I think a brilliant hire. Jonesy just knows what and where. He's got a gut about things. Tortorella, the coach, obviously. Danny Briere, the general manager, the Briera, some people are calling it. And Dan Hilferty, who ran Independence Blue Cross to sponsor this show at the top. He said last night, guys, he's not Mr. Snyder, but he's going to try to do the best he can to bring a winger here. What's Dan Hilferty going to do, and what's he like, Jim?
Well, I've only met Dan once, but I've been around him a couple times and just impressed with the guy. He's just a very outgoing, friendly person. And that's what you got to be. Just be. It's not rocket scientist, right? You got to be outgoing and friendly and accommodating, and that's what the Flyers are all about. They treat the fans, I think, with respect, give them comfort there when they go down to the building, and you got Keith and Danny doing a great job, and then they got Big John back behind the bench, fiery John Tortorella, and the players. Look at John's got that reputation as being a little bit hard to deal with at times, but the players, they gotta if they're a little sensitive to some of that stuff, they've got to learn how to deal with it. They just gotta get gritty and battle and go out there, and overall just work real hard in practice, and things will come together for you. That's
Bernie,
what coaches want from you.
What do you have to say about Mr. Hilferty and what Jimmy had to say?
Well, I met him a couple of times, and a classy individual, and very classy. He wants to win. And I think he brought in the right Jim. He brought in the right people.
Yeah, I know.
And with the team, like you said, and he's, what? I saw him on TV again last night. Comes across and always shared the fact that Ed Snyder was the beginning of this great organization. But I like the way he comes across. And he wants to win, and he wants to surround himself with the right people. He knows where he belongs, not on the ice, but where he's at, in business. And he's bringing the right people, and I felt the Flyers will win the Stanley Cup with him.
Well, let's hope they do. Let's hope they win multiple Stanley Cups. When we come back, it's been tasked to Danny Briere and Keith Jones to do so. We'll talk about them and what they mean to this team and rebuilding the fan base. And we'll also find out what rebuilding means to Bernie Parent, to Jim Watson as the Flyers out of the gate 2-1. We're going to talk about it when we come back with the Independence Blue Cross on the ice from Chickies and Pete's right here in Drexel Hill. We have our stat of the week and much, much more coming. Come on up and get some autographs. We're back after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chickie and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon is the true retreat from the everyday. With locations in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City, Joseph Anthony is a premier salon and spa destination that offers unique and luxurious services such as the soft pack float and hydrofacial. The Center City location, located on the 5th floor of the beautiful Lowe's Hotel, is now open and features an exclusive summer menu where you can indulge in the Joseph Anthony experience in the exquisite Turkish bath. Joseph Anthony's little black card is the perfect gift for all your loved ones' relaxation needs. Call or go online to josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com. A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/staycovered.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one-stop shop for all your shopping needs at Fairless Hills.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer goaltending great Bernie Parent.
A great atmosphere here at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. People getting the autographs of Jim and Bernie, eating meals, watching TVs. Great atmosphere here at Chickies and Pete's. There's all kinds of fall specials and all kinds of great stuff. Next week we'll be at Chickies and Pete's in Malvern with Ed Hospodar as our guest. Chickies and Pete's the whole year. Make sure you come and enjoy a meal at Chickies and Pete's and come to our show sometime. It's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That is 1-866-PAY-EASY. This week it's 0 as Carter Hart blanked Rick Tocchet's Vancouver Canucks last night through 3 games. Carter 2-1 with a 2.35 goals against, a 921 save percentage. Those are terrific, and that was your Flyers Smart Stat of the Week. Once again, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Payroll Service Solutions, catering to the small and medium-sized business to handle all of your payroll needs. Call them today again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. Daniel will help you out. Bernie and Jim are helping me out. Bernie's signing some autographs for fans. It's a great thing. Guys, the Flyers, you won the Stanley Cup in your 7th year, Jim and Bernie. This isn't an expansion team, obviously, but in some people's minds, this is a new expansion area, a reboot, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. Whatever that is, guys, what does that word mean to you, rebuild?
Well, rebuild, you know what, Keith Allen brought the right players, together. We had a great leader in Bob Clark to begin with.
Yep.
And
did you call him Bob or Bobby, by the way? Did you call him Bob or Bobby in the dressing room?
It depends. If when we won, it was Bobby. Yeah. But anyway, and then you look back at that team. The way Keith Allen and management, the way they put this team together, from goaltender to defense to forward to coach.
That's the way you build a team, from the back line out, right?
Yeah. And Freddie was a fantastic coach.
Yep.
You know what? He knew. He every time we played a team, he was prepared. He didn't voice that too much, but he was always prepared, and we always have the team playing the right way against whoever we played.
Yep. He was kind of a cerebral coach. He wasn't real loud. He never really came hard that way, but he was always good instruction, always under control, and he left the leadership to the team. Okay, he kind of directed the team. Hey, look at guys like Clarkie, Joe, my brother Joe, and he had Van Imp.
Yep.
Bernie led in a certain way. He was a veteran. We had Gary Dornhofer, Barry Ashby, people like this who were outstanding, veterans, and then there was a bunch of real good rookies and young guys coming through. Billy Barber, Tommy Bladen, people like that. Ricky McLeish, of course. Just a great mix of veterans and really good, strong young players.
So when I say rebuild,
you know what?
You need that veteran leadership of Coots and guys like that.
Look, you're turning over personnel. That's all you're doing. You're bringing in, you're evaluating things, and you're seeing what's working and what's not working. You're not happy with guys, well, they're out. That's the way it works. Yeah. In hockey, you got a producer in any professional sport.
So Jim and I should have been out the second year.
Yeah.
Though you know
didn't
what?
get it done.
I'll tell you what. It's hard to make a team. But once you get there, man, you're going to do everything you can to stay there, and that's the way it works.
What's harder, getting there or staying there?
I think it's there's not much of a difference to that. I mean, once you get there, you know what it takes at that point, and you're going to do everything you can to stay there.
Bernie, you ever feel there was a bullseye on you that second year and third year that you didn't ultimately get it done?
Well,
second year we got it done, Paul.
Second year you sure did.
We certainly did. In the third year, Bernie was injured.
Yep.
And Wayne Stevenson played for us against Montreal.
And he played
well.
And Wayne played very well for us.
Yep.
He played very well, but he wasn't Bernie, but he played very, very well. I mean, hell. So that's the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah. They, when you look back, like we said earlier, I want to repeat this. This is 50 years now. Next year it won't be long. It's going to be 50 years since we won the first Stanley Cup. It's not like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, like when
50 years.
Would you have ever thought that in between the Flyers would not have won another cup by now?
Well, no, I wouldn't have thought that. But when you talk about a rebuild, I mean, there's a number of ways you can look at that, right? Look, you're just striving to get the best team possible, and everybody's very competitive. You want to win the next game, and so you're going to do everything you can. So if that means supplanting maybe a rookie with a guy who's playing better than him, who's maybe got 3 or 4 years of experience, or maybe he's coming up from the minor leagues, and maybe he's working his way in through the back door. Like, in other words, he's a late bloomer, right? And he shows he can play at 25 or 26, so maybe he's supplanting a kid who's 22 or 23, but the kid at 22 or 23 is not mature enough for it yet, okay? So there you go. So maybe he has to go back down to the minors. But that's the way it works in hockey or in any other sport. You got to friggin' produce.
All right, Bernie, well, I'm going to start this with you then. The man tasked to bring him in and produce. Obviously, there's others, but new general manager took over from Chuck Fletcher last year, your fellow French-Canadian, Mr. Daniel Briere. Going to bring a bunch of guys in. Just give me what you think. Daniel Briere, word association. What's your first thoughts?
Well, you know what? The beauty about Jones and Briere, okay, those two guys with the team running
the law
team,
firm now, which is Jones and Briere.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Very important because they're from the era where they could relate to the style and the players.
Yep.
More like guys like us, for an example.
Yeah, but
we haven't played in so many years, it's different.
They're good hockey. They're good hockey minds. They've
good hockey minds. Yeah.
They've been around the game all their lives, right?
Yep.
And for against a guy like Keith Jones, right? He's been announcing for a number of years. He's been around all kinds of hockey people. He's seen how it's done in all different organizations. Mm-hmm. He's talked, I'm sure, to all the general managers in the league. Ownership, he's talked to coaches, so he's got a good feel for the game, not only through playing, but just in being around the game and observing.
But when he was hired, one of the great points about Jonesy, there were a lot of people that were pretty shocked at that hire. Not me, and I'm sure not you guys.
No.
Because people think Keith Jones is a prankster, which he is, a jokester, which he is. But he's able to be a chameleon. He's able to be what he needs to be when he needs to be it. If somebody asks you what Keith Jones is like, to me, he knows any situation he's in and what to do pretty much no matter what at any time. Is that a fair assessment, Jim?
I think it is, but I just like Keith's demeanor. I mean, he's he's an outgoing guy, very friendly, he's got a twinkle in his eye. You know what? He's an outgoing guy, but that's a personality trait. Good for him on that. But he's evaluating constantly. He's watching what's going on. And because of his experience, he's a little bit elderly now. Not elderly, but in hockey-wise, number of years he's been in the game. So why wouldn't he have the experience to become a good general manager? Okay, why not? Why can't he do well? Of course he can. And I think he should.
But he relates to the fans too. That's number one.
Well, very, very important again there too, right? Sell it and get the fans going and get them excited. It's good to hear that you made the report on the fans being out for the training camp. And I was down to the game last night. They had a great crowd, even with the Phillies going on across the street. They had a soccer game down there, but nonetheless, there was close to 15,000 in the building. Although they announced they had over 18,000 as far as ticket sales were concerned. Well, that's damn near a sellout. That's pretty darn good for a team that missed the playoffs last year.
Yep. Vern, obviously it is what it is, and it goes on as it goes on. John Tortorella, Fred Shero, tough taskmasters comparison. I'm sure there's plenty of differences. But as players, guys, which you both were, I played in the NHL. Yeah, no, I didn't. Mm-hmm. Did you want a tough coach? I mean, you've had different coaches in the NHL. Fred Shero drove you guys to 2 cups. We heard he was Freddie the Fog, and he was tough. Tortorella's tough. He'll scratch you. But that's what you want, isn't it? You want to got to push you.
Well, the coach we have now is tough, but you have to remember why. If you go out there and work hard and get your job done, he's not tough. He's coaching.
Yeah.
But he's tough on players who don't perform that night.
Why do we say tough, though? Has the era changed, guys? What used to be tough is now unfair, which is probably unfair unto itself. You want a guy to kick your butt, don't you, if you're not performing?
I love playing for a tough, hard-nosed coach, but I could play for anybody, right? When we did that. I mean, I looked through my career, played for Freddie Shearer, who was just calm and quiet, but very well organized, right? Ran great practices, got us prepared, So that's the key. That's the key. For any young hockey players out there, learn how to work real hard and practice. Be very consistent in your practices. And if you do that, you'll always play well in the games. It's that simple, right? But you got to mature. How do you get somebody to be real good consistently in practice? Well, they got to be a mature person, okay? They got to know what they want, and then they got to apply it, right? And an immature person is going to find fault with something. He's going to find reason to blame somebody else for whatever he's not doing well, instead of taking responsibility.
Well, and in case you're thinking these guys are just whistling Dixie, what Jim's saying, what Bernie's saying, when they raise their hands, there's a couple of things called Stanley Cup rings on them. That's the reward. The reward for us is the final segment. We're going to talk more about hockey, take a little look around the NHL. Flyers again 2-1. They play Edmonton tomorrow night at home. This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We're Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Come on back. Final segment after this. Looking forward to it.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chickie and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon is the true retreat from the everyday, with locations in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City. Joseph Anthony is a premier salon and spa destination that offers unique and luxurious services such as the soft pack float and hydrofacial. The Center City location, located on the 5th floor of the beautiful Lowe's Hotel, is now open and features an exclusive summer menu where you can indulge in the Joseph Anthony experience in the exquisite Turkish bath. Joseph Anthony's little black card is the perfect gift for all your loved ones' relaxation needs. Call or go online to josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com. A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
I'm always striving to live my healthiest life, so I need a health plan that has my back. With Independence Blue Cross, I get access to the largest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free virtual doctor visits 24/7. Plus, with premiums as low as $0 per month, I can stay on top of my health and keep my budget in check. Independence has given me coverage I can count on, and they'll do the same for you. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at IBX.com.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one-stop shop for all your shopping needs at Fairless Hills.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer goaltending great Bernie Parent.
We are back at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill, final segment. The Independence Blue Cross On the Ice. We're here every week. Next week again in Malvern with Ed Hospodar. We're pleased to be this week with Bernie Parent, our co-host, who's going to Florida late in December, as Jim said, to escape the cold.
Yeah, Bernie, come on. What a whisk. Come on. Show
Flyer on
stones.
flyer battle here.
Show some stones, Bernie, for God's sake. Stick around.
Well, Jimmy, Bernie showed a lot of stones. There's an area that I wanted to talk about with you, and we've gotten so much on other tangents, which is terrific. Last night, Sean Couturier scored on a penalty shot, which, by its name, it seemingly is not a penalty shot anymore. If I had a chance, if I had a choice between a penalty shot with I don't know who taking it, not McDavid or whatever, or just 2 minutes on the power play, I'd probably choose the power play. The penalty shot, Bernie, you mentioned goaltenders, the equipment's gotten bigger, the moves have gotten better, but the goalies have gotten better. Would you rather face a penalty shot or a power play?
Well, if it was Jimmy shooting on me,
Did you ever get
I'd
a
take
penalty
the shot. I would take the shot.
No, I never took a penalty shot.
And the shootout these days, obviously, you would have taken one of those at some point.
No, I would take, you know what, it's
Take the penalty. You know what, Bernie?
penalty because you have a team working with. You know what I'm saying? A penalty shot that's just you and the shooter. Shooter could get lucky and score. Yeah.
They didn't get lucky too much on you, did they?
Well, because guys like Jimmy, I never had.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about one of our old teammates, Ed Van Imp.
Yep.
Big Eddie, and number two, the old Zamboni. He's coming back for our big reunion. We're having our 50th anniversary of our Stanley Cup win, our first win, and it's going to be held on the 26th of January.
Yeah, Brad's talking about that.
27th.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Big Ed and all the rest of the guys.
You know what?
Andre the Moose DuPont will be coming back.
You know what?
All the great names.
It'll be 50 years. I can't wait till it's 100 years.
I'll hopefully be around. Well, with that said, guys, obviously you guys have lost some people too. Not everybody from those teams is still around.
Yeah,
several. If you want to name them, you're welcome to. But Ricky McLeish, the one that comes to my mind.
Yes.
What's it like when you played so long that people start obviously to pass away? Either one of you can answer that.
Well, you know what? It's a sad moment that of course, you don't forget. Because you spend a big part of your life, performing, playing hockey with those guys and winning championships. And it's just one of those things. The bottom line is you don't forget. Every time I think of those guys, thank you, Lord. I'm very grateful that we were on the same team at the same same time.
Yeah. No, you know what? Hey, you know what? Always great memories. I mean, I think of Ricky McLeish. Well, you know what? Well, without Ricky, we wouldn't have won the Stanley Cups. I believe if you look back, I think he led our playoff scoring for both of those years.
Yep.
I mean, that's how good he was. He didn't always get the credit he deserved, Ricky.
He could fly.
He was outstanding. And one thing about Ricky I found very interesting, Ricky, when I asked Ricky, after watching him for a couple years skate, I said, Ricky, how did you become such a great skater? He said, Jim, you're not going to believe this, but I took figure skating as a young kid. And this is now going back in the 60s when he was taking figure skating. Well, that certainly wasn't popular.
Can't imagine Rick McLeish doing a triple axel.
Maybe that's what Jimmy should have done.
But he learned his good edges, and that's why when Ricky would skate, it looked like he was hardly exerting himself. But nobody could catch Ricky.
Not
what I mean?
too often.
And he was a very efficient skater. But kudos to him, right? Because he took the extra step to make himself better.
A great shot too. He had a great shot.
Great shot. Yeah. And another guy we lost, of course, was Ross Lonsbury, his left winger, and I loved Ross. I mean, Bernie Ross, he was a consistent player. He always gave everything he had, and he was a real
team player.
Great defensively, You could always count on Ross, and he always was chipping in offensively also.
Well, one of the players that played on that team, and obviously will be at the reunion with you guys, and we hope to have him on the show later this year. Jimmy knows better than most. His brother Joe, 9 years older than you, I believe.
Give everybody a report. 9 years.
Joe retired from the Flyers.
I always say I'm the better looking and the younger of the two Watsons.
So how is Joe these days? Tell everybody what's going on.
Joe's doing great. I was with Joe last night down at the game. Of course, he's still screaming and hollering at the game. Told Joe to calm down.
At the officials?
At the officials, everybody, the players, everybody. He's going to calm down a little bit. No, but Joe's great, and he's doing well. Big fan of the game and loves the game.
I got to say a couple of things about Joe. I remember when we played, Joe really understood the game, and communication we had was quickly. He always played the man, not the puck, the man. So if it was a left-hand shot, I knew that the shot would be going to my blocker side. If it's a right-hand shot, the shot would go to my glove side, And those are all things that we worked on. You benefited because it puts you in the right place at the right time to make decisions.
You got to remember, Joe broke in with the Bruins. And he was a rookie. He was a rookie with the Bruins when Bobby Orr broke in.
Yep.
And then Joe got let go, and he was very disappointed because he created a spot for himself on the Bruins as a rookie with Orr, and he knew that the Bruins were going to take off as they did. And he thought, well, hell, my future's going to be with the Bruins, and all of a sudden he gets let go in the draft, but he comes to Philadelphia.
Looks like it worked out, huh?
It would have worked out great for Joe, of course, but thank God it worked out the way it did for us.
We came in at the same time.
And you and Joe came in together. But Joe was a leader for our hockey club, and he didn't get the credit for that maybe as much as he should have. But after Bobby Clark as our leader, Joe was right there after that, along with guys like Eddie and Gary Dornoff, people like that.
Guys, we'll have some of these guys on during the year. I wish we had another hour. It just flies by here. Jim, it's been such a pleasure to have you. Bernie will be with us next week. It's a pleasure to have the fan base, Chickies and Pete's. Thank you so much, Jim, for giving your hour of time and being a part of this wonderful show. We really appreciate it.
Well, hold on. I want to thank the fans for coming out here also. And Chickie and Pete's. What a great restaurant bar this is. Love coming here. Great environment.
Right, Jimmy. He paid them to be here.
Yeah. Paul, you know what? I respect and appreciate your knowledge of the game of hockey. Yeah. Just by your questions, Paul, you know the game pretty darn well.
I wish I had more than knowledge. I wish I had a couple of those rings.
I know, but nonetheless, you know what? You did a good job, Paul. We enjoyed working with you, and you're a great producer also.
Thank you very much. Brianna Neal produced. We'll mention her again in a second. Thank you, Bernie. See you next week.
Definitely.
All right.
Can't wait.
Been the Independent Blue Cross.
And by the way, Jimmy, you're the best, buddy.
He is the best.
You're the best.
The absolute best.
Man. Love you.
God willing, could have Jimmy as a guest every week. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week. This has been the Independent Blue Cross on the ice from Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Next week at Malvern with Ed Hospital. Hopefully the people will come out. Brianna Neal produced this fine program. Stephen Lawler, a great job turning the knobs back at the station. For Bernie Parent and Jim Watson, I'm Paul Jolovitz. For On the Ice, go Flyers. Join us next week. And go Phillies, go Eagles, go Sixers, go Philadelphia.
You've been listening to On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Tonight's show is an exclusive presentation of 1490 WBCB and heard around the world at WBCB1490.com.